going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Schilling N Stunna podcast. Today, we're going to be hitting you with our recap of the Week 1 game against Tampa Bay. Wasn't the best outing. What are your thoughts, bro?
Man, we got a long road ahead of us, man. The defense looked great. The offense, man, it's stale. You know what I mean? A lot of thoughts go into this as far as like Kellen Moore and you know what I mean. But like I said, we'll get a chance to break everything down here. But right away, I would say the mood not good, but you know what I mean. We're gonna give up though. Gotta have some optimism. We'll just have to see how soon Dak comes back, different things like that, and you know what I mean. We might be okay. Rough right now though. For sure.
Yeah, it's not the ideal situation. Couple highlights. I thought Van Der Esch looked good out there. I know we kind of spoke about it earlier today. He looked better. He didn't look good. Micah, of course, looked unstoppable. Ankle picking Brady.
Yeah. The line was eating for sure.
That's my guy. What do you think? So I know the news came out today. Dak was supposed to be out 6 to 8 weeks. They're saying 4 weeks now. Do you think that's a realistic thing? Do you think they're rushing him back?
Oh, it's definitely a rush back for sure. I mean, normally I would call BS on this, you know what I'm saying? But you know what I mean, by them not putting him on the IR, man, it's like what are we doing here? You feel me? Like, so if you're not gonna put him on the IR, you're pretty much saying that you think he's gonna come back by 4 games, you know what I'm saying? And if that's the case, and him just having surgery today, of course, man, you rushing him, man. We didn't seen like Russell Wilson last year have to deal with the same type of injury, you know what I mean? And we seen how he looked when he came back. Now, as far as like how Dak heals and everything like that, maybe they just want to get him ramped up and get him practicing ahead of time and kind of get him in a flow, get some chemistry before they just throw him right back out there. That would be my only guess. But right away, man, just let Dak heal, man. You know what I mean? Don't force him back in there.
I hope that he doesn't play in 5 weeks. I wonder if it's more like we're not going to put him on IR. We want him to come back and be able to throw the ball, practice, because the offense was out of sync. There was no chemistry there. So I wonder if, but then it's a problem too, because if you want to keep playing and stay in the race for the playoffs, like Cooper Rush going to have to get those number 1 team reps. So
yeah,
what are you going to do? Have him out there throwing to the practice squad? That doesn't make much sense either.
Man, it's so irritating, right? So just to kind of rebound on how we've seen this whole offseason play out, right? We all had our questions. We all had some optimism on how things would go with the receiver room, the offensive line, different things like that. I will say in hindsight, man, just seeing the receivers out there, man, it didn't look good at all. You know what I mean? Like CD, 11 targets, 2 catches. Noah Brown, he probably looked the best out of all of them, but I don't even think that's saying a lot. You know what I mean? We didn't get to see Simi. I think Dennis Houston made a couple plays, but for the most part, these guys wasn't getting no separation. Like Tampa Bay, they was just sitting on routes. The only thing I would say the bright side to everything that we was doing was the run game. And it didn't take but like a drive or two for Kellen Moore just to completely just toss that plan away. It's frustrating, right? We all wanted to see if he was going to take that next step, make some game time adjustments, do some different things like that, man. But man, it's so irritating just to see how we came down there on that first drive. We moved the ball. Zeke is doing his thing. And then next thing you know, they doing like a freaking double reverse. You putting Pollard back there like 10 yards behind the line of scrimmage, man. Come on, what are we being cute for, man? You know what I mean? Line up, let's play ball, make them react to the run. And if you run the ball in that well, like make them stack the box and then you pass. Don't force it. I didn't understand that.
It's crazy too because they talked about increasing Pollard's role, and that didn't happen. That didn't happen at all. We saw a couple of sets where they were out there together, Zeke and Tony, but it was still the same bullshit role for Tony. And there's no path to success if we can't get our playmakers out there.
Nah,
I don't know. I don't like that.
It's crazy. Silver linings, I will say, the offensive line held up. It wasn't bad. You know what I mean? I think the bad side of it, I mean, you know, you had time still. He came in and had a couple penalties, but for the most part, he played well. I thought Biadasz, he held well. He held down Vita Vea down in the middle. Conor McGovern, for his few snaps, he didn't look quite bad. You know what I mean? He didn't look bad at all, but it wasn't too long. You know what I mean? I think it was the first drive he went out?
Maybe
I
the
think it was,
second.
I just know it was early. It wasn't long. I didn't see a lot of them, but from what I seen from him, he didn't look too bad. And Tyler Smith, he looked strong. Everything that we said from the offseason, he actually looked decent there at left tackle. So moving forward, that's a plus. You know what I mean? So I will say that.
Do you think that they're going to force, with the idea, or I guess the possibility of them rushing Dak back, are they going to rush Jason Peters in there and kick Tyler inside? Or do you just wait and just keep the line how it is for now, let Peters get completely up to speed, bring him back when Dak comes back, and just roll?
Oh no, I say you want to put your best five out there, right? And
Right.
I think Jason Peters is part of that best five. So as well as Tyler Smith, he looked that first game. I understand, but if we actually serious about winning games and you want to put the best five you can put out there, you move Tyler Smith to left guard, and you put Jason Peters over there beside him, and we roll like that. We try to enforce his run game because that's what we're gonna need. Now, if you got Zach Martin and Still was looking like a beast in the run game, and then Tyler Smith and Jason Peters, I think they'll be able to move some people. And I think we may can create some type of identity just to balance his defense out, maybe just hold the foot down just a little bit before Dak gets back. Because I'm gonna tell you what, if we got to deal with these receivers and wish and hope at some point that they start gaining separation, but it's true, man. We got a lack of talent there, man. They need time to develop. And the thing that kind of just pisses me off the most, right, is why didn't you give these guys some preseason time, right? I think it was a common theme going around the league that a lot of these teams and quarterbacks that didn't look as well as some of these other guys, they didn't have time. You know what I mean? I looked at Derek Carr. He didn't look as great. Joe Burrow, he didn't look good. I know you can say Aaron Rodgers, he played bad. It's a little bit of both, but I mean, for the most part, the guys that struggled didn't have time. And then mainly you have a whole lot of new guys, right? Whole lot of new guys. You don't give them any reps, any game time reps with Dak during the preseason. I just think that's a disservice to everybody, man. You look around. Josh Allen, he got his reps in. He looked good. Patrick Mahomes, he was able to come in. He played some preseason snaps.
Oh, Andy plays
even Tom Brady. We see Tom Brady. We won. Tom Brady came in there and he got some snaps on with his guys in the preseason. So my thing is, if you knew you had this inexperienced group, man, go put your guy out there, man, and then maybe we wouldn't look so flat week one.
It's in the first half, like you were saying before, the run was working, but at the same time, we were getting gashed in the run game, which is just a continuation from last year. So going into halftime, the score is 12-3, and I'm thinking to myself, the game is not over. Like, it's 12-3. We're doing a great job on defense, holding Brady to field goals, which is ideal. Offense is not doing their part. I get you lose your starting left guard, but that's not the problem. Like, you come out at the half, and we should have established the run, pound the rock.
Sure.
First and second down, we should have been running the ball if they gave us the right front. But then I know we talked previously, I think it was Devin White came out talking about they already knew the game plan going into the week or something like that.
Yeah, he pretty much was – he called bullshit. He called vanilla, man. He was like, as far as what Dallas do, it wasn't nothing different from last year. We knew exactly what they was going to try to do, and we attacked what we knew they was going to do. A lot of curl routes, a lot of slants, and they did for the most part pretty much that blueprint that Denver laid down where, they keep everything in front of them, sit back in that zone. They know Kellen Moore going to keep it short, and they sit on all of our routes. Now, if we got some guys that we don't have Amari Cooper out there, none of these other weapons to keep these guys honest, then you tell me how that's going to look if Kellen Moore not making the adjustments he's supposed to make.
Right. And then on top of that, I know in one of our previous episodes, I brought up the penalties and how we need to keep those down. Like, we led the league last year, and we leave this game with another 10 penalties to start the season. That's crazy. How are we in the double digits in week one?
every time, bro. Every time.
And it's like, come on, man. That one drive, I think it was the third quarter, just when it seemed like we were about to pick up some steam, Terrence Steele gets hit for like 3 penalties on one drive, and that sucks.
It was
holding calls. Holding calls kill every drive. That 10-yard loss just messes everything up. Not to mention Julio looked great out there too, and that's easily a move that we could have made.
He did. See, the thing is, man, we make all of our moves in hindsight. You know what I mean? Like, if you lose a Dak, now I see that they kind of backtrack a little bit, say, hey, we're not going to go trade for a guy. But in case somebody goes down, you're supposed to already have this type of moves in place. You shouldn't be searching. You shouldn't be out here looking desperate, right? We could have made moves to this wide receiver room, like you say, a Julio and Jarvis Landry. He was still out there at the time. Granted, we did try to make a move for James Washington, that backfired, but you still had time to go get another guy. Left tackle, you did get Jason Peters in there, right? But he should have already been a swing tackle option. You should have already had a guy in place before your guy went down. Like, I don't understand the line of thinking of just waiting to the worst thing can happen before you make a move. And then, they do that whole thing where they sell us on whatever, hey, it's going to look this way. The wide receivers are great, and we're going to do this. Man, I think the funniest thing, man, it wasn't even supposed to be hilarious, man. I'm watching the game. I'm pissed off. And it's funny. You hear Chris Collinsworth. He started talking his trash. But, man, just to see them, like, they're like, yeah, the Cowboys don't look too good. All our offensive moves look crazy. Then they just start panning that box over there. You see Jerry Jones and Steven over there with the sad face, the sick face. Like, whose fault is that? You know what I'm saying? Then they pan it on Mike McCarthy and let you see his face a little bit. Like, yeah, y'all over there looking sick right now. You know what I mean? But y'all put this product out on the field. I understand Dak looked bad. I understand. But did y'all put him in the best position to succeed as well?
The reaction on McCarthy's face when he found out about Dak. You guys see that Micah's ankle pick right there.
Peace.
When McCarthy's face when he found out about Dak, that man looked stressed out. And it's crazy. I'm over McCarthy. Like, in general, I've been over it since we hired him. And, that was not my favorite move. But at this point, I don't like the idea of Kellen either. But I do have a feeling there's now a built-in excuse. If we start off, say, like 1-4, 2-3, it's going to be because of Dak. It's not McCarthy's fault. It's not Kellen's fault. Look what they're working with.
Oh, nah. I ain't going for that no more.
Right.
Like, you can go and sell it to somebody else. I think the main thing, like, Kellen Moore, like, the leash ain't too long at this point. It's getting real short. You know what I mean? It's crazy because I see these teams around the league. Like, I watch Justin Jefferson come out. O'Connell, he's scheming these guys open. I watch Cooper Kupp, like, constantly scheming these guys open. And then for CD, it just seems like it's no scheme. It's all like, they just beat the guy in front of you. You know what I mean? That's what they expect.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's not a lot of scheme to the run game or any of that. Only thing I see is these damn, like, trick plays. But who you really fooling at this point, man? So I think the main thing, man, Kellen Moore, like I said, short leash. But as far as McCarthy go, just to see the news that come out that, Brian Broaddus is like, man, I don't even think like McCarthy knows the offense at this point. Well, that's a bad look, man. Like, I say bad, that's a bad look. Because the reason I say this is you bring in a Kellen Moore, right? At what point would you think you were going to right this ship? Or if you had to step in and make a move and say, all right, young buck, like, let me put my offense in place and let me do my thing and let me try to save my own ass. So at this point, you about to let this, you gonna sink this ship with Kellen. You gonna let Kellen be the captain, and you just out here riding a boat, just going down with it. If that's the case, what you gonna do?
Right. Well, and then on top of that, like especially with Jerry and them, like, they're so worried about homegrown talent, but our roster is completely filled with homegrown talent, aside from like an Anthony Barr pickup this offseason, Jason Peters out of nowhere. But the homegrown talent just doesn't seem to work. You see the Rams and their path to success. Cincinnati went completely grocery shopping this offseason for an offensive line. The same thing with Kansas City last year. So it's like, there goes Micah for number 2, by the way. I'm at a beast. It just doesn't make sense because we rely so heavily on the draft, but then we're drafting guys that need development. So why not move off of like a 4th-round pick and get a guy in there that can do something immediately? It makes no sense.
Yeah, like I will agree to disagree to an extent. I will say we do good with our homegrown talent formula, but it's like they lead us to believe that that's all there is. Like, you don't create these windows. You don't get a Dak and get the team in place to not make the moves to put you over the top. That's what separates like those teams you mentioned, like the Bills and the Rams. And you think about the Raiders this offseason. Even in our division, the Eagles, man, they know they on that Jalen Hurts window where he don't have long until they're going to need that deal, but they're going to go try right now. And if it don't work, look, we'll reshuffle this thing. We'll clear the board a little bit, get these contracts off, and we'll restart. And if they need to go get a guy right now, they have the money to do so. That's what you're
Mm-hmm.
supposed to do. You know what I mean? The thing is, like, you don't have to sell me on fucking Noah Brown being a number 2 receiver right now and saying that's okay. You don't have to sell me on freaking Conor McGovern or matter of fact, like you say, like, hey, yeah, we're gonna have Tony Pollard in this offense, so we're gonna do this and third. Man, we've been hearing that same story for about 3 years now. I'm not trying to hear that. Don't try to sell me on that. Let me at this point, I just want to see it. Now, yes, we knocking the game. If we want to talk about some silver linings, I will say this. Like you said, the defense was flying around. Look phenomenal. How many offenses will we see that has the talent that Tampa Bay has? Moving on, I think they showed like right there in that week 1 that they can hang in. They was able to keep some points off the board. They look good. The run game look good. We have, I would say, a foundation in place to have a good football team. We still got talent here. It's just that with Dak out now, we're going to have to lean on this run game. I don't want to see Cooper Rush, you know what I mean, back there trying to sling it for 30, 40 times a game. I will say I like the fact that he came out and he took some shots. He took more shots than Dak did, to be honest. So,
well, the offense actually looked a little more alive as soon as he came out there too. Like there was a change of pace out there that was very noticeable. And I'm not saying he was doing. Dak looked awful. Dak looked like some shit out there. But I don't know if that was Dak's fault or Kellen's fault.
Oh no, both of them. I ain't letting Dak off the hook either. You know what I'm saying? Like Dak has his highs and his lows. We've seen some good Dak, and this was bad Dak. You know what I mean? I don't even want to sugarcoat it. He missed a lot of throws. He was inaccurate. But a lot of it, like I said, it just didn't look like he had no chemistry with these guys. And we can move the blame all the way around. You know what I mean? It's a lot. The front office down to Mike and everything like that. But yeah, Dak, he deserves a share of blame. Sure.
I know too that pretty much, I guess, like Dak is what he is. Like we know that, but I know Twitter's going nuts about trade Dak, get a top 5 pick, blah blah blah. Stop.
No,
we're not doing that because name 15 better quarterbacks. You know what I mean? Like it's not realistic. If one presents itself in like the 3rd round, then you take that as depth because I think we can do a lot better than Cooper Rush. But then on top of that, I don't think Peters is on the active roster right now. He wasn't dressed up Sunday. We only had 2 quarterbacks out there. One of them's out. So now we're going to have to elevate probably DiNucci.
DiNucci out of here. We got
Greer.
It'll be Greer.
That's right. My bad. Greer.
Rush.
But then we're going to have to move off of a player or 2 in order to do that. So I don't know how many we have on the roster. I'm assuming 53. But who do we move off of now? Because that makes no sense.
Yeah. We was already doing some shady. I mean, Tober, he didn't even get in there. So I mean, they're gonna have to move some stuff around. I'm not mad at that move. As far as the Tober go, it's just I don't want to sugarcoat the fact that like Cooper Rush is trash as well. Let's not get that mistaken, man. I'm not saying he can't win games, but I hate the fact there's even people out there saying, "Hey, Cooper Rush can come in and he can look just as good as that." Like, stop it. We're not doing this. Mm-hmm. I know even when the Andy Dalton thing happened and Dak went down, there's people out there trying to say, "Hey, Andy Dalton gonna get in here. Look at his stats. We comparing him to Dak, and he looked just something like, stop it, man. I'm not doing that, right? I'm willing to see it play out, and this is another test for Kellen Moore, for real. Like, I want to see if he can get Cooper Rush up to speed, and I want to see how this offense will look. And hopefully Gallup gets in there, help the process out, and if we can just go, I would say 500. Maybe even one above, you know what I'm saying? And Dak gets back. The schedule lightens up a little bit. Maybe, just maybe, this a give Kellen Moore the chance to try to lean on the run game. And maybe when the Dak does get back in there, maybe we have an identity at that point. Maybe we have something that we can stick to and hang our hat on when it's playoff time, if we can make it there.
Well, I guess another fear of mine is obviously our offense wasn't humming, and this was probably, I guess you could consider it there's Malik Hooker right there, tune-up game that this could have been a tune-up game. Let's say like by halftime next week we're up to speed with Dak out there.
Yeah.
with him not being out there, like, yeah, these receivers are going to get the play time, but they're going to be with a different quarterback. So once Dak does come out there, is the game speed going to be there, or is it going to be week 8 or 9 or 10 before we're even humming? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's
a lot of moving parts, a lot of unknowns, man. And at this point, I think you stick with what you do know. I said, let's play some high flying defense. Let's get some turnovers. Let's run a damn ball and play a little keep away and play ball control. And I think if they can stick to that, we might be okay.
And one more thing I wanted to mention too was Turpin. He was killing me out there too on the kick returns, not the punt returns, but on the kick returns, man, he was just taking everything. There was a couple of ones that should have went to the end zone. I think the first one he got brought back to like the 11-yard line and he took it at the edge of the goal line. Sure. He was just trying too hard to make a play in his first game. Like, he needs to calm down a little. I do have high hopes for a Turpin, but he just needs to tone it down, slow down, because he was getting cracked out there, dude. Yeah. That little dude was getting smashed out there.
And I would say this. No, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. I'm sorry.
CD, man. Come on, man. I'm not gonna go all the way down the year. It's just the first game. There's a lot of overreactions going on across the league right now. I still believe in you, right? But what I do want to say is you're number one receiver now, man. You gotta carry that torch and you gotta pretty much carry yourself as a leader, man. I don't want to see you pretty much crying, throwing your arms up every time the play doesn't go your way, man. Like, you're gonna have to man up and do something about it, man. You know what I'm saying?
He is quick to do his little thing as soon as he makes a play.
Yeah, you're doing your thing, man. Like, stop the crying, man, and just man up at this point, man. Like,
I agree.
I still believe in you, but seemed like he was doing a little too much shaking and baking off the line a little bit instead of getting off himself and getting in and out of his routes, man. And it sucks, man. I know you see the highlights going around. Cooper Kupp, he over there like giving it to him, schooling the youngster J.C. Horn, and you know what I mean. And I'm just like, man, we could definitely use that. Don't get me wrong, but at this point we got to move on. I don't even want to make it about what we had this versus this year, last year, whatever. We see what the hand that we dealt with. This is what they gave us, and you know what I mean. At the end of the day, if this is what we got, hey, somebody got to get held accountable at the end of the day. So let's see what we're gonna do.
I agree. With that being said, this is the Schilling N Stunna podcast. You got any final words?
Hey, man, we'll see y'all next week, man.